Okay, as he said, I'm Nikki Ferguson from Johnson County Schools, and I purchased some C-Pen readers to try to give access to my special education students with reading. What button do I hit? I know. Okay, so the area of focus for this was on helping special education students acquire the same reading skills as their grade level counterparts. And what started this was I have students when they come to the resource room, we're working on reading, and this particular class I had for an entire hour. And so when they were going back to their 5th grade classroom, they were missing the chapter of read alouds, and they were reading Hatchet at this time, and they were missing a lot of that. So they were coming in, and the teacher just didn't have the time to make up those chapters because class has to continue. So they were missing a lot, and that bothered me. So I was trying to come up with a way of how can they get time to read and still get what they need in the resource room and all of that. So that's how this C-Pen reader came along. My research questions were, what impact will using a digital pen reader have on students with learning disabilities, and how will the reading level of students with disabilities who use a digital pen reader compare to the regular education students' independent reading levels? So I got 4 C-Pen readers with this grant. I also wrote a grant to Donors Choose, and I was blessed that someone bought me 8 more, so that was really great to be able to use. And they look like this. And on these, it'll scan text anywhere. I had a question last time I presented, and we tried it out. It will not scan on a computer, but it'll scan the pop bottles. All my kids like to try that out, so it will scan a pop bottle. But it will scan anything on paper. You can do English, Spanish, or French. It also is a dictionary. So in particular, in a minute I'll tell, I've been blessed to be moved around this year. So it started using them with 5th grade students, and then I got moved to middle school, so I took them and used them with a 7th and 8th grade resource class. And IQs in this class range from about 47 to about 72. And so I started reading novels with them, and I gave them vocabulary words with every novel, and they actually scanned them themselves. It read the definition, and I made them write the definition. So it was giving them access to vocabulary that I don't think they would have gotten otherwise. So the action plan, students will be assessed in their ability to independently complete assignments in reading that they previously could not do without a teacher sitting right next to them. And here are some pictures of my 5th grade students reading. With the C-Pen readers, you get the charger, you get your own personal pair of earbuds so that it's not a distraction of hearing them reading. These will also, whatever you scan, it will download to a computer. So if they were scanning some certain important parts of a novel that they wanted to remember, they can download that to their Chromebook for later use. Here are my 7th and 8th grade students using them. And I was in 7th and 8th grade longer, so I really got to see a really great impact of these in this particular classroom. And here's just some work that these students in that 7th and 8th grade classroom were able to complete independently. I was just a facilitator walking around. They used the pens solely for these projects. And they love to do them. And on the side you can see by chapter I gave them vocabulary. And as soon as I laid down the packet, they were like, where's the pen? Where they knew, and they didn't have trouble asking for it. They were excited to use it. And that's just some more. And I really think it engaged their reading. We read 3 different novels, and in this classroom was all boys. And I tried to pick novels that would interest boys, and they looked forward every day to reading these and getting to use these pens. The results, students that had the privilege of using the digital pen reader, I felt like were more engaged in their reading. They were able to independently complete those assignments before a teacher would have to go and help these students and possibly read. And we used them in like Miss Mullins' fifth grade math class when she would lay down a worksheet and it had a word problem. Those students that had struggled with reading would actually scan that and be able to answer that question because they didn't have a computational, they just couldn't read the problem. So what went well? Students were able to complete comprehension checks using the C-Pen readers with an average score of 80%. This is roughly the same average that they would get when they used an adult as a reader. Students were able to complete the same independent level worksheets as their non-disabled peers because of the C-Pen readers. So it also, I think, maybe boosted their confidence, their self-esteem as well. Students began to independently use the pens without being prompted. I did not have to prompt them. They were asking for them if I forgot. My next steps, of course, I want to purchase more. Most special education teachers I always had a caseload of 15, so I need 3 more to get where I need to be. And then I want to use them more in other subjects besides reading, more of the use in the math class across all curriculums. And that's it.
Our last project is the Phelps Area Technology Center from Pike County and their project, Building It Forward, Tiny House.
We ready? You have our PowerPoint? Who's going to do the clicker?